Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Mahovlich. I'm a veterinarian. I work at the Elgin Animal Hospital and the Talbot Animal Clinic, which are two clinics in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. Well, we made it. It's December. And if you're like me and my family, December means celebrating the holidays. Now, it doesn't matter what you celebrate at your place, be it Christmas, be it Hanukkah, be it Kwanzaa, or any of the other holidays out there. There are certain things that seem to kind of run across all of them and certain similarities. But if you're like me and you live in a cold climate where it's snowing right now and there's snow on the ground right now. Well, at least I think it's cold out here. What do you think? Exactly. Now, if you do celebrate the holidays, I'm sure, and if you have pets, your pets are going to be celebrating with you. I mean, they're family members. It's a wonderful time of year to get them involved and just spend more time with them in general. So what I would like to do for you guys today is I want to go over 6 different things that I think you should be aware of and pay attention to in order to keep things as safe and as pleasant as possible for you and your pet this holiday season. Now, as you can probably tell, my family celebrates Christmas. So what I'm going to be talking about the next couple of minutes will probably be a little geared towards the Christmas holiday, the Christmas season, and also, again, I live in southwestern Ontario in Canada here, so there is snow on the ground, so some of my tips are going to be focused more towards the cold weather and things that go along with that. So bear in mind, I'm going to be a little geared towards that, so please take what you can out of my tips and apply it to your own situation and your own life. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is food. I don't know if you guys are like me, but this time of year, there's certain types of food, there's certain treats that seem to kind of make an appearance over this festive season or over the winter months. It's the best part of winter, if you ask me. But you got to be careful because these types of food can be dangerous to your pets, to your animals. So 4 ones I want to touch on for you today. First, grapes and raisins. Grapes and raisins, delicious, love them, kids love them. Not so good for your pets. Dogs in particular, dogs and cats, ingest grapes. It can cause some fairly significant issues. They think there's something in the grape seed, grape oil, that can do some damage to their kidneys. So you want to avoid grapes and raisins around the area. And of course, raisins get into a lot of baking this time of year as well. So you want to avoid that with your pets. Second thing I want to talk about is chocolate. Love chocolate. Chocolate is around all year. It should be. Now this time of year, there's much more chocolate. There's in baking. There's in sweets that are around the being given. As chocolate is ingested and broken down, the body breaks it down into different chemicals, and one of those chemicals is theobromine. Dogs and cats cannot process that. That's actually quite toxic to dogs and cats, and that's the reason when dogs and cats ingest chocolate, they get into a lot of trouble. Not all chocolate's created equal, so darker chocolate tends to be more poisonous to dogs than lighter chocolate. Baking chocolate, cocoa powder, that sort of thing, those are the ones you really want to avoid. That being said, if your animal does ingest chocolate, best bet is to call a veterinarian. Know how much they've ingested, what type they've ingested, and then your veterinarian is going to be able to give you an idea how to treat that and what to do. Oh, sweets, candy canes. Love these things. Perfect. Lots of sugary stuff. One thing to be aware of, in recent years, a lot of these sugary treats have become kind of, not so good for the waist. So what they've done is they come up with new sugar substitutes. One that you really need to be aware of is something called xylitol. Xylitol is a sugar substitute. It's finding its way into gums and sweets and that sort of thing. The problem with xylitol is it is toxic to our pets. Animals that ingest candies or sweets containing xylitol can have life-threatening drops in their blood sugar. It can cause coma. It can cause death. Be very careful with any treats out there that contain the chemical xylitol. And finally, just leftovers in general. I mean, we tend to have people over this time of year. We have more food out. We have bigger meals, things like that. Animals are going to smell that and they're going to want some as well. I mean, this time of year we see animals that get into turkey leftovers, and you get bones and things that get ingested that shouldn't be ingested. Best case scenario, they get into leftovers and they're going to have an upset stomach and you're going to have some mess to clean up the next day or two. Worst case scenario, they're coming in because something's stuck and your veterinarian has to go in and get it out. So just keep an eye on the leftovers as well and try and keep them out of reach of our furry family members. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, number 2, is decorations, holiday decorations or seasonal decorations. Sorry about that. I had to, with the bells. Anyway, so yeah, Halloween decorations or Christmas decorations. Some of the obvious things that they're worried about this time of year are things like bulbs on Christmas trees. Other things I'm talking about could be something like just, again, household decorations for this time of year. Candles, different figurines. I know some people will, or I know one person that has a bowl full of pine cones they bring out this time of year. Be careful. I mean, these things do look like toys. They do look like treats to our pets. Some of these glass bulbs for ornaments can find their way into your pet's mouth, and they can cause some cuts, sharp glass breaks, and cuts inside mouths. Pine cones can get stuck in throats and cause issues. Candles can obviously burn and cause issues that way. So yeah, just be aware of the new things you're bringing out this time of year, and make sure that it's out of the pet's reach and everybody's safe. What do you think? I think this is my favorite hat so far. Number 3, potpourri oils, hot oils, scented oils, those sorts of things. Be very careful. I mean, people bring them out this time of year to add scents to the house, to make things smell more Christmassy, more seasonally, that sort of thing. Again, the problem is pets, dogs and cats, they like the smells too. They're going to go after them. Some of these hot oils, these hot incense oils and things that they can burn if an animal tries to ingest them. They can burn if they get knocked over and fall onto an animal's skin. A lot of these oils and scented liquids are poisonous, so if they're ingested, not only do you have to worry about the burn, but you have to worry about the actual chemical reaction inside the body. So just, again, be careful, keep them out of reach, keep an eye on them, keep your animals safe. The 4th thing I want to talk to you about, antifreeze. Like I said, you know, if you're like me, if you live in a colder climate area or where it's snowing, this time of year, I'm looking outside and there's lots of snow on the ground at the moment. Antifreeze you can use antifreeze in your vehicles. You can use antifreeze in your house to keep your pipelines from freezing up, the water lines, that sort of thing. Be very careful with antifreeze. Antifreeze does have a sweet smell to it and a sweet taste to it. Dogs and cats are attracted to that. We've had issues where people have spilled some antifreeze on the floor, haven't cleaned it up. Dog goes, ingests it, and it can cause a lot of damage inside. You can cause a lot of poisoning going on with antifreeze. So again, be careful. Keep it up out of reach. Make sure that you clean up any spills, and just keep your animals out of areas where there might be some issues there. The 5th thing I want to talk to you about are winter plants. Things like poinsettias, holly, that sort of stuff. Let me put this down here for a sec. Now, poinsettias have been given a bad rap as of late, but to be honest with you, the poinsettia isn't that toxic to your pet. Most individuals will have to eat a lot of that plant in order to get any lasting effects. Usually what happens with poinsettias is they eat some of the leaves, eat some of the flowers, they end up getting a sick, upset stomach, bad back end, back front end, comes out for a couple of days and you're okay. Things you do want to watch out for though would be mistletoe, holly, and lilies. Those plants are quite toxic to your pet, and if they are ingested, you could run into some major issues with kidney and liver failure and that sort of stuff. So again, just like all the other things, you want to keep these plants up out of the reach of your pets. Nice to look at, don't let them get into it. And finally, number 6, Christmas spirits, drinks, alcohol. Hey, what's the holidays with a little bit of Christmas cheer, right? Glass of wine with dinner, maybe some eggnog, something around the fire, warm you up a little bit. Just be careful. Our pets are much more sensitive to the effects of alcohol than we are. Even a little bit can cause a lot of issues, and you can be anything from upset stomach, feeling sick for a couple of days, to alcohol poisoning and some pretty serious issues. So keep them away from the alcohol, people. All right, so that wraps up my 6 tips for keeping your pet safe during the holiday season, whatever holiday you celebrate, or even if you don't, just the winter season itself. So hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful whatever you celebrate, and myself or my fellow veterinarians don't see you in our clinic for an emergency this holiday season. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.